certainly what it feels like. By the way, have you followed the ground
Hi guys,
operations
welcome
of
back
the
to Elder Scrolls Online.
the way in which the Israeli military has attempted to
You're
safeguard
gonna
Jerusalem?
notice a difference now. I got my mods all set up.
Yeah, they are, and I really the war is an ugly,
It's
messy
weird, I
thing.
re-downloaded Minion again, and it had all my old mods already set up and everything, so perfect.
I can say that. But
Let's
they
see.
are attempting, I think, to strike in a matter within the law of land warfare, as opposed to rolling in on October 7th and taking hostages, and then holding those hostages in horrific conditions. And so I do believe that there is an attempt to do that. And
Let's
if you
see
look
if
at what
they're.
happened with
I
the
think
strike in
they should
Afghanistan
be.
following
Well, I
the big
mean,
explosion,
checked it out the other day. It should be working.
innocent people in a very simple
Yeah.
thing. War is ugly.
Well, and then you look at the
Yeah, definitely.
condemnation from this administration of that strike on aid workers in Gaza, and then they wanted to wash their hands.
Yeah, the duplicity is terrible.
It's amazing. And that's part of what vets have to shoulder, and part of why you've written a play that has been on tour for years now, but it's coming to New York City. Tell us about your project.
Yeah, actually, when I was watching your last segment, The War on Warriors, it really struck a chord with me because it is a play called Blast Out, Elegy of the Green Beret. I wrote it about 6 years ago, and I wrote it because it seemed like Americans were just turning the page on the longest war in our history, and our veterans were starting to ask themselves, did it even matter? So I wrote this play, Last Out, Elegy of a Green Beret, to inform and educate Americans and politicians while also validating for the military community those who lived it so that they could see their story on stage, and then cast it with all veterans and military family members, and then to complete my midlife crisis, learn how to act at age 50.
It was a real problem. Acting's not easy.
No, not at all. Particularly this, because it's all based on true stories. It's based on a composite character of 3 King sergeants that were friends of mine that died, and they tried to play that composite character. It's a very emotional play, not just Master Sergeant Danny Patton, the Green Beret, but also his wife Lynn and their son, as they navigate the longest war in our history. And all the movies are about the first day.
Yep,
The door kicked.
they are working.
See stories of the last out.
Good.
And the men and women who go back day after day, month after month, year after year, and their families that endure that. And that's why I wrote this play, and that's why I cast it with an all-military.
Okay.
So 23 years in the Army, 18 of those with Special Forces as a Green Beret, and 10 years in Afghanistan. You know what you're talking about. And that's why this play is so powerful. When is it being performed here?
Well, it'll be here. Frank Siller with Tunnel of Towers is going to be bringing the play because he had heard about it and he wanted to perform it for the first responders down at Ground Zero. So on this Tuesday, April 9th, at the St. George Theater in Staten Island, we're going to perform it for those first responders, particularly those from Ground Zero, to let them know that what they did mattered, and for our veterans. Didn't have 10 years in Afghanistan, but a lot of tours.
That's what the packet said, but I would have believed it. Multiple tours in Afghanistan. The website is T2T.org. The website for the play, by the way, if you want to check it out, it's worth checking out. LastOutPlay.com. You served your country, you saved untold numbers out of Afghanistan, and now you're continuing to honor the legacy.
The Dominion welcomes all who wish
We
to
need to
join.
keep telling our story as warriors.
Amen. Absolutely. All right, we toss it over to Will. Got some headlines.
So to be clear, Pete, because I can't be in New York on Tuesday, I can watch that. Scott, I can watch that out. LastOutPlay.com.
Actually, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime.
We should have mentioned that. Thank you for supplementing this segment, Will Kane.
I want to watch it. I won't be here.
I love it. Amazon Prime. Check it out. You just search it up.
Scott continues to do great things after his
Okay.
Of the Dominion, you will gain
I'll be watching
security.
on Amazon Prime. All right, let's turn to your headlines. Manhattan prosecutors are fighting to extradite a career criminal charged with killing a mother at a hotel in Soho. But Arizona authorities have refused to send the suspect back to New York
Joining
City
the
for 2 months.
Dominion
As
isn't
he
about
faces
what
attempted
is
murder,
taken
assault,
from
and
you,
kidnapping charges in the
but
state.
what we
Manhattan DA
gain
Alvin
from
Bragg's
it
office says it
as a
plans on formally asking New York Governor Kathy Hochul to issue a warrant for the suspect's arrest. A village in Illinois is reportedly looking to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate its own mayor for several allegations, including misusing taxpayer funds and more. Locals are calling for her to step down.
It's the transparency. We don't know how our money is being spent. We are out at $7 million deficit because
I'd rather
the
take
board of trustees who
maps.
handle the money, they haven't received
as
any
part
of
of the
their
Dominion. You will
documentation.
gain security.
Local outlets report the village's board of trustees is considering paying Lightfoot $400 per hour. Tons of corgis set to hit the sand
For
later today in Southern California.
prosperity,
Corgi Beach Day in Huntington Beach is
for
expected to draw hundreds,
unity,
maybe
for
thousands,
the
of the short-necked
dominion.
pups with their owners in tow. It's described as the biggest corgi party on the planet and features contests and corgi
The
kissing
Dominion
booth,
welcomes
plenty
all
of
who
treats.
wish to join.
Goes your head like, wow, what's with the focus on corgis for us? Is there a Doberman Day? I want to know. I want to be part of that. Other breeds get a day? Maybe Rick will know. Let's turn Chief
Your
on his Rick
chance
Rifle
for
for our Fox weather
untold
forecast.
prosperity comes with
Nothing
Dominion
against
rule.
corgis. That's the thing. That's what we do. You want something special, corgi people, and then we go, hey, but why do you get something special? And then you say, well, what do you have against corgis?
Start Doberman Day.
Cannot
It's
be
Doberman
Bruce
Day.
and the
If you
Dominion.
want it, you
Together,
gotta do it.
we'll achieve
He
unity.
says I'm not going to, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Typically, going enough to talk about what's going on. I tell you what, we've had such a wild week of weather across much of the eastern
Joining the
seaboard. Right now, a little bit
Dominion
chilly.
isn't about
Take a
what
look at the
is
maps. Pop this
taken
up there for
from
me.
you,
You can see it
but
really
what
warmed down
we
across the south.
gain
Still winter
from
hanging on across
others.
much of the west and much of the east. And we are worried about this, especially because of what's about to happen on Monday. You see all of that swirl that you got there across parts of the west? That is going to be problematic for people who are going to be going in across areas of Texas by the time we get, say, towards Monday. And that's where we have the big eclipse. Such a big event. Event starts across parts of Mexico,
For
moves up across
prosperity,
areas of the
for
northeast. And
security,
the worst problem I
for
had, I've got on this, and
unity,
you asked me where
for
to go, I'm going to
the
say probably Texas is
Dominion.
going to be better off. Texas is probably going to be the spot that maybe has the least
Okay.
chance of seeing this eclipse because of potentially some severe weather.
Cannot
You
be
should watch
Bruce
that.
and
You're
the
watching this severe
Dominion.
weather Monday.
Together,
That goes
we'll
into
achieve
Tuesday and Wednesday as well. We'll be tracking, but an eclipse across much of the south, possibly problematic. All right, well,
Oh, man, we've got eclipse plans on Monday.
you do.
Yeah, okay.
Joining the
Texas.
Dominion isn't about what is taken from you,
Are
but
jeans
what we
bad for the
gain
environment?
from
A study
each
saying
other.
just wearing a pair once is the equivalent to driving 6 miles. That's all.
Guys,
Here for your pop culture wrap-up.
As part of the Dominion, you will gain security.
Working with the Experian app, your credit's gonna look so money. From checking your FICO
The
score
Dominion welcomes all who wish to join.
and getting matched with credit cards that are so good. The Experian app looks good on you. Download it today for free.
We've been tracking the value of our car. Should we sell it? We hold it.
Our low mileage is paying off.
Your chance for untold prosperity comes with Dominion rule.
Already sold the car. Go to CarHome and track your car's value today.
It starts with a grill, but it becomes so much more. An extension of your home. Not just a weekend retreat, but an everyday getaway right in your backyard. New Age makes it possible with beautiful all-weather cabinetry.
the undeads over there.
That transform your backyard.
The Dominion
Okay.
welcomes all who wish to join.
Visit newageproducts.com to book a free design consultation and create the outdoor living space you always wanted.
What's considered normal for your cat is interesting. But if your cat isn't their quirky self lately, they may have pain from a common condition called osteoarthritis. Now there's Solencia. Solencia is a once-monthly injection to control your cat's OA pain. Veterinary professionals administering Solencia who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding should take extreme care to avoid self-injection. Self-injection could cause allergic reactions like anaphylaxis. Ask your vet about Solencia and help get your cat back to their normal.
I'm Sholay, and I lost 75 pounds with Dolo. I went from a size 20 to a size 6. Before Dolo, nothing seemed to work. I was exercising for over an hour every day. It was really discouraging. But Dolo is so easy, the weight just falls off.
Any responsible trade rumors we keep hearing about?
Oh, we're talking about moving? Not the trade. Not the trade. We're talking about moving. No thing.
You could use Open Door. Sell your house directly to them. Easy.
I guess we're moving.
Tonight, this election is between good and evil. Republicans and Americans to be using the platform. Stanley Kurtz and John Spencer discuss Biden's agenda on Lake Liberty Limited.
This one gives thanks. Do not disturb the ritual, cub. Our harvest depends upon it.
Virtual Resonance. Must be one of those books.
Reading on a tutorial program allows you with our dog reading forward to them. With my therapy dogs that make a very big difference with day-to-day mental health. Thank you for your support of the United Way. Our therapy dog program to visit seniors, youth, and youth.
Alright, well it's time for another pop culture roundup, and this time we have Madison Allers with us. Yay! And we're going to touch on the latest and the greatest of the Hollywood drama out there right now. So we're going to start off with the Barbie news. Hannah, back in the news again. Barbie was not enough for pop star Shakira, saying it was emasculating for their depiction of male characters.
There you are.
She took her censorship.
Wonder what
She said
button
it
that
was
was.
for example, they hate it, and she didn't like the message. You can empower women without putting down men. Yeah, I do think that if you're a young girl watching the movie, it sends a weird message. A lot of people both couldn't be strong. I personally just wanted to see more Barbie stuff growing up with the dolls. They're awesome. I love the visuals of Barbie Land. More of that. More of that and maybe less feminist indoctrination, women, girl power.
Can any of you hear me?
Oh, I agree. I think she waited on this because she's Hispanic and she gets it. Women are strong and feminine and we want men.
We were all in a little Arkash, probably the Dominion fleet sailing for Camartha's Roost.
Amen to
Then
that.
a hurricane blew up out of nowhere. Sails torn, hulls cracked,
It's going to be kind of
and
Amazon
thrown into the ocean.
spin-off series. She's going to be
I
the
ended up
executive
here.
director. No word on if she's
Invisible
going to be in it or make guest appearances. I
What I
think this
had
is
one of them
going to
coming out.
absolutely
But the ocean twists up sounds.
is incredible.
If they wounded or pinned down, could you keep an eye out for my soldiers? They answer to Egolas, England, and Mystere. Two of us can cover more ground. I'm sure no squad made it to shore alive. Dominion Marines constantly defy the sea's attempts to drown us. The hurricanes are another matter. I fear my squad is banged up worse than I am.
This is how stars made man curses a must-have. So these are a few of the guys with LeBron James.
Our ship's hold is packed full of an old Bosmo helium remedy. The label say torchbug treacle. Marines call it glow juice. The wreck scattered bottles across the beach must be what brought out the aliens.
So cute. Thank you. Very cute. Very impractical. We need bags to store our things. They have jeans. They have accessibility. They don't need the bag. They were if they could put it on the inside.
Creatures made of teeth, claws, and endless hunger. I've heard their cries up and down the beach since I came to. Their shrieks are bigger than their walnut brains. I saw them, the stupid things swallow a whole bottle of fruit juice.
Sensing a trend. When we travel, fanny pack.
Good luck. Do me a favour. If you find them before I do, tell them that.
Alright, now scientists are saying that wearing jeans is bad for the environment. Now, the study reveals that wearing air just once is the equivalent to driving a car for 6.5 miles. What do you make of that? I think they're saying this is about fast fashion, that people are wearing jeans and not holding on to them for a long time. Yeah, I think the challenge is existing is bad for the environment. You do anything, you're gonna have some sort of carbon footprint. Also, who is wearing their jeans once? I do agree. We need to think about fast fashion. If you're wearing jeans once, what's going on? And also, I think I wore my jeans like literally 200 times. Me too. All these fast fashion people are with their jeans. You got a favorite pair of jeans you wear all the time. Alright, this is your generation. Speed dating is bad.
Waves smashed me against the ship.
What do you make of it?
Cracked a few ribs. Not the best feeling.
It's kind of the reversal back to in person. People become so used with online dating. Now they're up to speed dating, but I will say 1 in 5 people under 30 have met through the apps. So they're not going anywhere. Alright. Good stuff, Madison. Thanks for having me, Rachel. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Madison. We'll be right back.
The dramatic rising cost of living has caused many people to abandon their pets.
You find
Those
some?
pets often end up in shelters that euthanize them. So
boiled
after just a
in
few
mint
days,
perfume.
well, we're better than that, my
But
friends.
if it
I'm
nicks
John
my
O'Rourke.
ribs,
And I invite
I'll
you to
drink the
support
whole
Puppy
bottle.
Food Bank with a $15 a month donation.
I'll find
If you
Sergeant
support
Therium.
Puppy Food Bank, it's ship
So,
pet food to
get
rescue
them back
shelters,
safe.
pet food that will save pet lives. So won't you join me? Donate now and Puppy Food Bank will send you a very nice gift.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
Wow. Oh, son. We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage, so we don't have to worry about it.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan for Colonial Penn?
I am. We put it off long enough. We are getting that $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? I'm Jonathan from Colonial Penn Life Insurance.
I lost a lot of friends in that storm. Give me some good news.
If you're age 50
I
to
saw her
85,
swept overboard
you
in
can
that
get
damn
guaranteed
storm.
acceptance whole
Held
life
on to the
insurance
rigging
starting
as
at
long
just
as I could, but it
$9.95
tore
a
the
month.
skin off my palms.
There are no health
If I
risks,
can't hold a
so you
weapon,
can't be
I'm
terminated
useless to my
for any
squad.
health reason. The
Do you have any
9.95 plan
bandages?
is Colonial Penn's
I lost
number
my
one
kit to the
most
sea.
popular whole life plan.
Those
Options
used?
start at just
Used to think this
$9.95
stuff
a
was
month.
only good for practical
less than
jokes on
35 cents
snowy
a day.
days.
Your rate can never go
Once I
up.
can heft a
It's
sling
locked in
shanker,
for life.
I'll push through the
Call
beach and
today for free
find Sergeant
information.
Therian.
And you'll
How
also
about
get
you?
this free beneficiary plan. So call now.
Call
Hope they appreciate their good fortune when you
for free
find them.
information and a free gift.
I can
That's
get in end after our rest.
1-800-908-6060.
Fight with purpose.
1-800-908-6060. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn?
Hello, my name is Jim. I'm a very outdoors, active type person. With balance of nature, it sure has helped me feel really good every day. The fruits and vegetable ingredients, I think, is the whole foundation of what makes the product so good. I'm looking at the future, and I do not want to stop doing what I'm enjoying. With the product, I know I'll be able to continue it. I feel great. Can't complain about it.
Get 35% off and $10 off any additional sets by using discount code Fox News.
Nice Oakleys, Stipe. Where'd you get them?
GoVex.com.
Man, I didn't give me one of those. Where'd you get it?
GoVex.com.
Bless you.
Hey, Stipe, nice boots.
I'm
Where'd you
glad
get
you
those?
came by.
GoVex.com.
Have you seen any other Marines along the beach? She's alive.
Easy.
I suppose that's some luck amidst all this wreckage.
Exclusive deals for first responders,
Can't say the
military,
same for my
and law
leg.
enforcement only at
If I don't put too
GoVex.com.
much weight on it, I can manage a good hobby.
Tree for my COPD.
Gloating.
Changed for me.
There's a dancing chest night.
Symptom
As soon
improvement
as
and
I can
reduced
stand on my own,
Rest
I'll head in there.
replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma.
Lieutenant
Tell
Gelling's
your
helped me
doctor
out
if
of
you
the
have a
water.
heart condition or high blood
Don't
pressure
want to know
before taking
Sergeant
it.
Therian
Don't
and the
take
rest of the
Rest
squad are
Treat
all
more
right.
than 5. Rest Treat may increase
I
your
think he
risk
said
of
something about
pneumonia
looking for
and
shelter in a nearby
osteoporosis. Call
cave.
your doctor if worsening
Oh, he's
breathing,
still
chest
coughing up
pain,
sand.
mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about breast treatment. You from Realtor.com. RealView Maps now feature precise heat, wind, and air quality ratings on every home listing. Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust. Download the Realtor.com app today.
I'm Laura Geller, and I'd like to show you how to use my favorite foundation, Big Balance and Bright. You just take strokes until you feel comfortable with what it looks like on your skin. I get this beautiful natural coverage. Learn more at laurageller.com.
It's the 8 a.m. hour of Fox and Friends Weekend, starting with this. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's stark message 4 years after endorsing President Biden.
Is America right now? Well, that answer's no. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer's no.
Plus,
Shit.
student loan debt deja vu. Joe Biden reportedly set to unveil yet another forgiveness plan in the coming days, despite the previous one being struck down as unconstitutional.
Be having trouble with young people. And most of us will be watching Monday's eclipse with our glasses from the ground. But some people are getting a better view from the sky.
What's that fucking cave?
Chasing the eclipse. The third hour of Fox and Friends Weekend starts right now. Don't you love that song?
Love it, Rachel. Just about insane.
It's funny when we talk about jeans. I think about jeans. I think about this song. I think about Americana. It's so
How you not happy when you hear this?
I know. It's the best. It's the best.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
That's right.
I don't know.
Fucking Trash Hour.
It isn't? No, that's Bryan Adams. I should know that. You know why? Because my brother loved that song.
I was thinking, Joe, when you said it, John Cougar Mellencamp, it took me a minute to go, wait, no.
Yeah, it is Bryan Adams. You're right.
So good. So good. But I remember Robin Hood with Kevin Costner.
Oh, yeah.
And like the Bryan Adams song is the big one.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. What is it? When you love a woman. Right? Something like that.
You love some. No.
Oh, yeah.
When you love a woman. Isn't that it?
You love a woman.
You guys are gonna be.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But that movie, I watched that movie a lot. That had a big impact on my childhood. Robin and Loxley. What's Robin and Loxley? I can reenact scenes from that movie.
That is so. I don't know why that's funny. That movie being a big kid headset movie. You want to be a movie that I watched repeat as a kid. I'm older than you. But we had the VHS tape. I didn't Betamax tape.
Turns out my
Grease
squad
2.
were the ones who found me.
No, Grease 2. I've seen it 100 times.
Scout.
I couldn't tell you anything about
My
Grease
squad
2.
said you were looking for Lieutenant Yellow.
No, I only know Grease 1.
I do. Grease 1 is the best.
Grease 2 is Michelle Pfeiffer.
Flows out of nowhere and destroys Oscar. Then an able-bodied Dominion Marine is captured and tortured to death.
We're glad you're here halfway through Fox and Friends weekend on a Saturday. What day is it today? April 6th, year of our Lord 2024. So is it officially spring yet? Is it? We hit the meteorological spring mark. Feels like it. We're in the counter, yes.
No, it don't feel like in New York. It feels like everywhere
We
else.
need to combine our forces and find who murdered Lieutenant James. My squad and I need to pull his body out of that damn cave.
You go to foxnews.com, you would encounter a great option, which lays out what we observe on this couch often, which is how in the world has our country gone so sideways in 3 years? And is it intentional? What's the why? How does this happen? And what would it look like if someone was actually trying to destroy the country? Well, Victor Davis Hanson has laid it out in an op-ed at foxnews.com, where he speculates the 11 ways in which Biden and his handlers are hell-bent on destroying America. We're going to share reading this list, and you tell us at home if you agree with Victor on this. First, you wipe out the 2,000-mile border. Second, you run up $35 trillion in national debt. And third, you appease or subsidize enemies like Iran and China.
Number 4, he says you can redefine identity only as one's tribal affiliation. Number 5, recalibrate violent criminals as understandable, heart expressions of social justice. You can 6, to Pete's book, emasculate the military by using non-meritocracy methods. And 7, reinvent the justice system.
8, encourage the fusion of the bureaucratic state with the new electronic media. 9, make
maybe your Marines can prove they're more than two-legged cargo and shiny
very late, but preferably not at all. While number 11,
consider reinforcements.
turn world-class universities into indoctrination.
Are they all talk?
You know, one of the privileges I think of doing Fox and Friends weekend is that sometimes, instead of having to be caught up in the momentary cycles of the news, we can take a step back and see the context of what's happening in this country. And I think that's what Victor Davis Hanson does so well in this article. He takes a step back, and always does, and puts things into context. And he expounded upon this
Look how saw
on the
those
bottom line.
stink-fingered pirates make off with it. We'll have to get the sun side.
I wrote it because I know all those problems of crime and inflation and loss of deterrence, we've experienced elements of them, but I've never seen an assault on the very system or the process. It's not that we're letting criminals out. We don't really think that assault or violent acts are crime. We don't even prosecute people. We always have a porous border, but we've never had no border. And we've had humiliations abroad, but we've never turned over $60 billion in weapons of terror. So we're in a new phase, a new era where this administration's assaulting the very mechanisms or the protocols we use to live. And it's assault on our civilization rather than just lapses or incompetence. And it's almost as if it's a nihilistic, angry, destructive urge to destroy the whole system.
So we do it before we move on, he speculates why could they be doing this, right? In 4 different options. You 3, which one do you think is most likely? First, why is the left doing this? They're delusional and think that socialist and globalist agendas will work. That's number 1. Number 2, they're raging nihilists who do not like the U.S. and want to destroy it. 3, they're revolutionaries who are intentionally erasing the old United States. Or 4, they don't have an agenda, they're aimless and they're fools and they just keep trying new things, whatever is of the moment.
And he says, probably not number 4. He thinks it's some combination of the top 3. I think what's interesting about this article, and I think why it's resonating, and it is that a lot of times people are just scratching their head and going, am I crazy? This, first of all, says, no, you're not crazy. They are destroying America. You're not the only one noticing that. But 2, why are they doing it? I think he kind of alluded to it in the first one, Sean. And I mean, Pete.
Anything else we can do?
Whatever you want to call it.
You still is as good with a mouth as she is with a sword. You can have a patch the prowler's leaks.
The 2030 agenda that's coming up.
What else?
If you can destroy America and the idea of sovereignty and weaken her
he can recover the Sunsider in no time.
Stage, it's much easier to go to this
I
one world
almost pity
government
the sea viper who's holding on to the Sunsider. England will recover it soon enough. What else needs this time for that mangy privateer to make good on his promise? Maybe you should go to talking. I'll just rub it in.
And Barack Obama in particular, very much aligned with the World Economic Forum and that sort of one world government type of agenda.
You know, I think people don't want to for your Marine. I mean, I think including incompetence and including your suspicion that it's, you know, more coordinated with an ideological vision towards a technocracy or socialism, but I do lean towards a combination of 2 and 3. I lean towards this nihilistic attitude that I don't even know how much ideology has to do with it as much as don't believe in anything except the sense of self, you know? But at the same time, a revolutionary instinct in there that wants to erase the past. Because if you don't believe in anything, you don't believe in America, then burn it down. Yeah, you don't believe in America's goodness. So you kind of start with that, you know, is it utopic, their vision? And Jordan Peterson talks a lot about that they have this utopic vision, a little bit, but when I say utopia, I don't think it's actually some grand virtuous vision. It's really angry utopia.
It's controlling, centralized, trying to control everything and everyone. That's why you see the people in these globalist groups like the World Economic Forum are obsessed with AI. And they want to be at the front of controlling it because that's the means for controlling us.
Well, if you're watching the channel, you had a fascinating interview with Rock. I did on Thursday ahead of WrestleMania this weekend, which is tonight and tomorrow night in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. We had the opportunity to sit down with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I met Dwayne a few months ago at the New York Stock Exchange. And he wanted to continue our conversation, just, you know, 10, 15 minutes about shit. He kind of got deep, and there was an opportunity to get deep, and we talked for an hour on the Will Kane Show, which is on YouTube right now, or Apple, Spotify. But the part that's making news today is this, when he had to say this about political endorsements in Joe Biden. Are you happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talked about, hey,
Sir Vercold and I were scavenging for a replacement helmsman wheel when the sea vipers ambushed us.
It's my job.
To the island with the
I
Beach
felt like that
Dominion
then. It's my
flagship.
job now to
Big
exercise my
dungeons
influence
there.
and
Terrible
share
things.
with
Those
this
filthy
is
mouths
your
dragged my
endorse.
mates up and
Am I going
tied
to do
them
that
to
again
these
this year?
serpent-shaped statues.
I'm not going to do that because what I realized what that
and lightning
caused
surrounded them.
back then
That's when the storm
was
began to
something
form around the
that
island.
tears me up in my
Yes,
guts. Back
I'm sure
then
of
and
it.
now, which is
It was a
division.
terrible sight. The sea vipers were so caught up in the ritual.
So, well, what was your sense is that
I tried to gab Sir.
he just doesn't want to get involved in the political, but he said it was bad for his image to have taken a side.
I
And so
saw the
I want
Malver's
out.
wrist glow.
It's not a rejection of a political party or a view. It's more just I don't want to be in the political realm.
Oh, Rachel's asked about that this morning as well.
Because there's some people that are very cynical,
So I
and I've
jumped
been
off the
saying
ship and swam
online,
for it.
you know, he
Please,
endorsed Biden
don't
when
let them
he wanted those
sacrifice
Hollywood
my
deals, and that's what
crewmates.
Hollywood likes. But now he's at the WWE, and that crowd is probably more Trump, and so now he's tacking to a more neutral lean.
Honestly, if I try to answer that question, it requires me to guess. And people will ask, well, did you have conversations outside? No. Here's what I guess I am speculating, Pete, to some extent. I'll tell you what, there's some good analysis. A lot of people talk about this. It's everywhere. Mary Catherine Ham was on the Megyn Kelly podcast, and she said, look, The Rock, for all his fame and celebrity, and he's huge, he's normal adjacent. There's a lot of normal stuff about him.
Yeah.
And in 2020, like, normal, non-political people felt like Joe Biden represented, he sold himself as a return to normalcy. Do you know what I mean? And then here we are 3 years later, and people realize, this isn't normal. Like, just everything about what we've experienced for the last 3 years. And he said, I'm not happy with the state of America. I'm not happy with woke culture. I'm not happy with cancel culture. It could have been any numerous other issues. I'm sure he would have said he's not happy about. I'm guessing there. But, so, I think that some of it doesn't surprise me. He didn't say, which makes it, he's not going to make an endorsement, right? But it wouldn't surprise me. He says he's not happy with the state of America, you know? Can I just have to say this? People, and I know when we talk about The Rock, everybody remembers 2020. There's a lot of people who are sort of mad at The Rock. And what I would say is this. He told me, he did say, hey, look, I am an independent. Like, I'm not in a party. I'm not in an ideology. Here's what I would say. I've been around the guy on a couple of occasions now. And I do my best not to, like, worship celebrity or people on upper guitar. I like the guy, okay? I do find him earnest and somebody who wants to do good things in this world and help people. I'm just going to give you an example, okay? So you guys know, and this is incredibly humbling, but through the generosity of many people watching right now, we raised $2.6 million, gave $12,000 grants to people in line.
Fuck you doing?
That's coming to an end this week. Well, one of the men that I got to know has a boxing ministry. They preach and train, preach and punch. Preach and punch, whatever. It's called Contending for the Kingdom. He called me. His name's Dusty Rayno, and he called me, and he said, hey, I'm trying to rebuild, of course, everything burned out. I need heavy bags, speed bags, headgear, gloves. I said, all right, let me see what I can do, Dusty. And, honestly, a couple weeks, I ran down a couple avenues, and I'm calling Nick Khan, the president of WWE. I know Nick. I called him. He didn't even let me get the story out, okay? He said, hold on. He called The Rock, and he called Dana White at UFC. In minutes, it was done. And that stuff will arrive this week in line.
That's right.
And so Dusty sent this video that I wanted to show The Rock and Nick Khan.
I wanted to give a special shout out to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Thank you, Uso. Thank you for what you do, as well as WWE president and owner Nick Khan. Thank you guys so much, as well as UFC President Dana White. I'd like to give a shout out and special thanks to you guys. The kids are going to be grateful for what you guys are doing. Get this boxing ministry going, contending for the kingdom. That's what we're doing. Making kingdom builders in this community, in this town, in this nation.
And so, yesterday, or Thursday, I showed him that video. We talked, and I said, hey, I want you to see this.
Grateful that I'm in a position where I can do something grateful about.
Those sea vipers are insane!
We're able to do something like that. Look, Hawaii, that's my people, it's Polynesian people, it's our people. We're local boys, and it breaks my heart that it happened. But at the end of the day, we all do what we can do to take care of our people. So, 60 million, those guys are taking this right my heart that they're all getting back on their feet. We're right up there. Son of Hawaii, son of Samoa, son of all of
This is such a great story, but it also is a story that makes me mad. So I'm really glad that The Rock and the other guy got in there and helped this guy out. That's fantastic. And it highlights
generous and do so much good. But at this moment, our government is paying the pensions of people in Ukraine. And I just think, I look at a situation like this and I go, I don't really care about the pensions of people in Ukraine. I do care about that ministry. I do care about all the people that you've highlighted here, the people who are hurt in Lahaina and in Hawaii. And it's just, I know you don't want...
Or what we do for illegal immigrants.
Or what we do for illegal, exactly. And again, I know you don't want to make this political, and I think that was kind of the point of this interview. But that's what's so sad about the moment that we're in, that these kinds of events also at the same time simultaneously highlight how completely out of touch our government and so many of our political elites are.
Well, let me say, you said I don't want to get... No, we talked politics in this interview for 10 minutes, but it's an hour-long interview, and I wanted to share that because that's important. Because there are good people that do good things, including many of you who gave millions of dollars to me to make sure I could give to people. And there are good people. And Rob says he believes in Americans, okay? So do I. Do I believe in politicians? No. But I know the culture and the character and the people of America, and I believe in it to my heart's core. And by the way, 940 will play more. You can also go to YouTube and watch more. We're going to say not many people get an hour to sit down with The Rock and explore any topic. So check out the Volcano Show on any platform that you consume it.
Then we'll finish repairs and shove off at high tide.
All right, let's turn now to a few additional headlines, starting with this. A rare 4.8 magnitude earthquake rattled the Northeast yesterday.
Perhaps we'll see you at
Even Lady Liberty was shaken up by the quake, as you can see here from this Earth Cam footage. Officials say the epicenter of the quake was in New Jersey. Hours later, a 4.0 magnitude aftershock hit a separate town not too far away. No damages or injuries were reported. Experts are warning that there's a nearly 40% chance of more aftershocks coming next week. And TSA says hundreds of people were able to bypass airport security last year. The spokesman says they've had more than 300 cases since March of 2023. They're blaming weak security checkpoints. They look pretty strong to me, but there's evidently a way around them. More than 200 snuck in through exit lanes marked with no re-entry signs. It's true, if there's no one sitting there that you can walk through, someone falls asleep. Another 80 snuck past the identity check podium compared to just 29 back in 2019. Oh, good. So we're going in the wrong direction. More money, worse outcomes.
Light
Did they
armor.
mention the millions that are being flown who just come across the border?
Oh, no. Just use your brand new finagled app to show that as your identification. You can fly anywhere in the United States.
We pay for the flight too.
They're doing it. The agency says most cases are accidental. Here's the reality. It only takes one. That's right, it takes one. Out of the women's Final Four, Caitlin Clark leading Iowa to the NCAA championship game tomorrow, taking down UConn 72-69. A controversial offensive foul, sealing the deal for the top eight. Let me see this. I mean, that's an amazing shot. Where's the offensive foul?
He tried. 5 seconds left. Looking for Benzos in the offensive foul. In the offensive foul.
Oh, you absolutely cannot make that call. It's a bad call. What are you talking? You are just moving. It's a moving screen. You don't make that call with 5 seconds to go in a game. A small move like that. 5 seconds to go. No way. That's just a hot take. You would never want that call with 5 seconds to go. Moving screens are cool if the game's on the line. Yeah, they are. It's all the time. When the game's on the line, things get a little fast and loose. That's how it goes. Oh man, you don't end the game that way.
So it's what she did to number 24.
Yeah, she blocked her. But you can do it if you're standing still. You can't do it if you run into it. It's probably technically correct, but know your moment. And South Carolina's dancing its way to the championship game. Camelia Cardozo leading the way with 22 points and 11 rebounds in their win against NC State. The men's Final Four tips off today. Purdue takes on the Cinderella NC State, and UConn faces Alabama. Those are your headlines. All right, look out, Biden, a Trump fundraiser on pace to nearly double the President's Hall at Radio City Music Hall last week, and it hasn't even happened yet. Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce on the election implications. Coming up next.
But first, Brian Kilmeade with a look at what's coming up tonight on Nation.
I'm really excited for you to see this edition of One Nation.
Lots of light armor.
3 young men under 25 will give you great hope for the future of Gen Z. The School of Hard Knocks guys will be coming your way. Also, we're going to talk to Kevin McCarthy about how the current speaker could navigate Capitol Hill this week get or not get Ukraine funding, Taiwan funding, Israel funding, and something in return, dare I say, border security. Ken McCarthy coming your way. Henry Cuellar on the border, and that's just to name a few of the guests. Watch One Nation tonight at 9.
At Ameriprise Financial, our advice is personalized, based on your goals, whatever they may be.
All that planning has paid off. Looks like you can make this work.
We can make this work. And the feeling of confidence that comes from our advice,
I can make this work.
that seems to be universal.
I can make this work.
I can make this work.
No wonder more than 9 out of 10 clients are likely to recommend us. Because advice worth listening to is advice worth talking about. Ameriprise Financial.
Careful, she's listening.
This is my mom, Bob,
This is my daughter, Lisa.
and we love Balance of Nature. Don't you?
You think I'm going to say no to her? Balance of Nature is a very good product. Simple application, a simple thing to take.
It's fruits and veggie and a capsule.
That's it. Balance of Nature has helped me get along very well.
Get 35% off and $10 off any additional sets by using discount code Fox News.
I was on a work trip when that pulmonary embolism happened. But because I had 23andMe, I was aware of that gene. That saved my life.
I had 8 UTIs in 1 year. This inspired me and my partner Spencer to launch Eucora. Eucora makes effective urinary tract health products.
It truly works miracles. The peace of mind I've been looking for.
Go to eucora.com to learn more.
Once retired, Marcus decided, I will never again work for another man or woman. I abandoned my corporate phone plan, and I'll get a new plan with consumer selling for up to half the cost. Let's go birds. When freedom calls, we're here to answer.
Tommy Copper's full back support compression shirt fights back pain.
If you do this or this, Tommy Copper's got this.
Where?
TommyCopper.com today.
You need this. Trust me. Global tensions, rising fuel costs, and the critical price the world could pay. Neil breaks down the new risks and new worries today on
good.
Bruno Live. Let me wait.
More wood for the cook fires, Captain.
Clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada. Squash and feast
Back.
for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Okay, there's those ones. We not paint. Don't need no shields. Okay. I think it's a good time to stop here, guys. And we'll catch you guys next time, alright? Peace out.
Will my team feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids? Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids?